Eve, are you listening to how these people are gossiping about us?
Guy, I can hear them.
But why do they keep saying that the fruit the serpent gave us to eat was an apple?
I know it's nothing to be proud of, but sometimes I honestly do not understand how people reach some of their conclusions.
Should we confront or correct them?
We might as well ignore them. Let's enjoy our meal while we gossip blindly.
Oh, they should at least get their facts right.
To be fair, we should allow them gossip and be angry.
Why?
Why? Are you seriously asking me why? Well, the why is because we caused most of their problems.
We? Please speak for yourself. If only you had.
If only what, Adam? In fact, I am done with these dates. Bye.
No! She's probably going to call our therapist again.
Okay, now that you're both done shouting at yourselves, we'll begin today's session.
We apologize, ma'am.
Ladies first, right? Eve, over to you. Thank you, ma. So, why are we all here today? To cut the long story short, after God beautifully created the heavens and the earth, he proceeded to create my husband Adam to oversee all that he had made. However, my husband Adam was either feeling down or struggling to manage everything God created. So God decided to create me, Eve, to be Adam's wife.
Oh, that's not true. This woman is lying.
What is not true?
I was not depressed. In fact, I was efficiently managing everything that God placed in my custody. Not to mention, the garden was peaceful. I was at peace. I was thoroughly enjoying my peace until...
Until what happened, Adam? Until who appeared? Eve, please calm down. You never mentioned that anyone appeared. I know my husband. He enjoys speaking in parables and playing the victim. Adam, please allow your wife to continue with her side of the story without interrupting her. Eve, please go on. Thank you, ma. So as I was saying, God created me to be Adam's helpmate, and I promise you, I was doing an amazing job. I followed every instruction God gave us. I helped my husband to manage the garden. Sorry, what garden are you referring to? The Garden of Eden. Sorry, I forgot to mention that earlier. That was where God placed us, and he would always come to chat with us in the cool of the day. Okay, I get it now. Please continue. On one fateful day, the serpent came to me while my husband was away.
Shouldn't you mention that there was a forbidden tree at the center of the garden? The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that God specifically instructed us not to eat from.
Oh. If only you were as quick to point out my mistakes or ask me questions, would you have joined me in eating the forbidden fruit? Plus, if you hadn't left my side to go do something else on that particular day, would the serpent have succeeded in tricking me?
Ma, are you listening to what she's saying? I shouldn't have left her side. Is she a baby that I always have to be with? While she was talking, didn't she establish the fact that God gave us instructions to follow in the garden? Even though she lied about following everything. Because tell me, why was it so easy for the serpent to entice her into eating from the forbidden tree? Excuse me, ma, there were other beautiful trees in the garden with much sweeter fruits. But why was she interested in the particular one God called forbidden? Fine, the serpent convinced her, but what happened to saying no? She said I was away when the serpent came to her. Before I left, I asked if she wanted to come with me. I even begged her to follow me. But she said no, that she had scheduled a play date with some of the animals in the garden. Why couldn't she scream the same no she told me back at the serpent? How difficult was it?
I understand your pain, Adam. But please, let her continue. Eh? Truthfully, when the serpent was asking me questions, I told him that God had instructed us to stay away from the tree in the middle of the garden. But he kept talking, convincing and confusing me. We argued for a while before I finally gave in. In conclusion, I ate from the tree and gave some to my husband as well.
You mean you gave your husband from the forbidden tree too? Hey!
Yes, I did, and he ate it.
Are you seeing how nonchalant she is about what she did? She's claiming she ate from the forbidden tree because the serpent deceived her. But was she forced? No, she wasn't.
Okay, now, let's hear your side of the story, Adam.
Like she said, God created her. But it definitely wasn't because I was depressed. I was never depressed. In fact, I didn't know what depression was. I was comfortable and had everything together. God created my wife because he saw that it wasn't good for me to be alone. To be honest, she was a good woman.
Was. Is she now a bad woman?
Oh, I meant to say she's still a good woman. However, our major problem is disobedience. I'm just very pained that she listened to the serpent. She could have directed her desire to pluck fruit from other trees. I'm not saying she's greedy, but why did she have to eat from the forbidden tree? Okay, the serpent deceived her. Watch this one. Eve, did the serpent force you to the tree?
No.
Did the serpent force you to pluck from the tree?
No.
Did he force you to eat what you plucked from the tree?
No.
So why did it happen?
Because he deceived me. Duh.
Adam, as the head of the house, your spiritual antenna should have been active at all times. Eh? When your wife offered you the fruits, how did you not discern that something was wrong? As the leader, you need to remain spiritually vigilant, knowing that if you let your guard down, the enemy will easily penetrate and destroy your home. With a little more attentiveness, you might have noticed unusual signs around you, around your wife, or even the serpent, perhaps preventing this from happening. Ha! And you, Madam Eve, why? Why did it have to be that forbidden tree? Or Guinea?
It wasn't me. It was the serpent. He deceived me.
Eve, you are still shifting blames. I heard this was the same thing you did when God was asking you questions. Now, why did you give your husband the fruits to eat? Why?
And two shall become one, right? Well, whatever happens to me has to happen to him too. Plus, he didn't reject the fruit when I gave it to him.
This is serious.
Excuse me, ma. If you don't mind, you can invite the serpent to come in.
Invite who?
The serpent. I informed him about our appointment with you today, and I told him that he might be called to share his own side of the story.
Why would we need to hear from him? Where is he now?
He's at the door. He texted me that I just arrived. Should I invite him in?
God forbid. No serpent shall crawl into my office.
Oh.
Why? What is wrong with you, Eve? What does the serpent have to say?
I mean, maybe to at least confirm the fact that I didn't immediately accept his offer.
I'm convinced that you've not learned your lesson yet. Where do I even start from? So, Eve, I would like to start from the last thing you said. The one about and two shall become one. If a man and his wife cannot share the same mind, their marriage cannot stand. When two partners marry, they become one. I'm glad you already know this. Take your index and middle fingers for instance. They are placed side by side.
If you stick both together, we can say they have become one, representing the couple. Now, for anything to come between the two fingers, it has to break the bond so that they become two separate individuals again. But if the bond is very strong, nothing will be able to come between them. A question you both have to answer now is this: how strong or how weak was your bond for the serpent to have easily penetrated and deceived you?